Hello, everyone. Welcome to On the Bench episode 6. I am Roshan Bachi, the treasurer. I'm joined here today with Abby Dean, our president.
Hello.
We also have Josh Brown, our vice president.
Oh, yeah.
And then we've got our two guests today. We've got Luke Summerfield.
Yo.
We also have as well Harry Kelly joined with us.
Oh.
Right, so let's kick it off straight off the bat. We're going to go into game week 19 in the Premier League, our double game week. How did everyone's team do? We'll start off with Luke. How did Liverpool do in game week 19, double game week?
Not the best, you could say. It's been a really rough few weeks for us. Probably the roughest we've been for the last 3 years. Losing 1-0 to Burnley with something stupid 27 shots and 6 on target. We just completely forgot how to score, and that's how it's been for the last couple of weeks anyway. Defensively, we weren't that bad. It's just whenever it got to our front three, they just didn't know what to do. They were just turning around, passing it back, just passing it to Trent to cross in every 5 seconds, which never worked. And it was just a game very, very similar to that of one against Southampton.
You are right.
One goal and then they sit on it.
Watching that Burnley game was awful. It was so bad because there was no run. Yeah. There was no proper runs in the box. Obviously, we all know Trent loves to whip a ball in, but there's absolutely nothing.
It was we had no plan B. That was literally just all we were doing. Just let Trent just whip one in, and let's just hope someone gets on the end of it.
Do you feel like Liverpool are missing Jota? Then do you think that he's made a real impact, and do you think he is being missed?
I think if we did have Jota, yes, we would have probably at least drawn that game. But we shouldn't be relying on Jota when we've got Salah, Mane, Firmino, who are probably worth around 300 million together. The fact that there were 27 shots and they couldn't score at least one is madness. Yeah. Especially with Thiago behind them, feeding them all the time.
Yeah, you are right, to be fair. I know in what were we going to say?
I was just going to say Liverpool had 71% possession as well.
What, in that Burnley game?
Yeah, Burnley only had 28. But when you look at the duels won and that aerial duels, it's all Burnley.
I mean, I can understand why.
12 corners to Burnley 0.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. That's surprising. I know, obviously, the United and Liverpool game was extremely boring, just a 0-0 draw in that double game week. But I didn't really expect that much else.
It was a most viewed game as well.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was.
It was most boring.
I turned it off halfway through.
I'm pretty sure, Harry, was it you that called it a 0-0 draw?
Yeah, I don't know. I just had a feeling it would be because I thought, well, Liverpool have to win to go top, I think. And Man United, if they lost that game, I think that'd be a big sort of confidence thing. But also, they wouldn't be top anymore. And I thought that United, usually when they play Liverpool, do tend to sit back. And because Man United are really good on the counter-attack as well. And against Liverpool, who would have to commit a lot of men forward, I thought, against their defence, I thought they'd definitely have a few chances. And they did towards the end of the game as well.
I mean, yeah, we just couldn't put any of them away, which was disappointing. But it is what it is. You just got to move on and stuff like that.
You could have nicked it as well with that Pogba chance.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a great save from Alisson. Great save.
Yeah. If he put it anywhere but at Alisson, that would have definitely gone in, I think.
Well, I don't know, because after the game, Roy Keane was saying, "Oh yeah, if he hit it slightly towards the left, it was going to guarantee go in." But then the thing is, there was also a player. I can't remember who it was. Yeah, they was literally closing him down, so he couldn't really have done much else in that scenario.
Oh, I think he should have scored. A player of that quality, he doesn't get many chances that close to goal. I think he should have scored.
So you're telling me you reckon he should have scored with
Yeah.
a keeper there and 2 players on the line closing him down?
Well, if he put it to his right, Alisson's left, he would have scored. He kicked it pretty much straight at him.
Yeah, it's true.
Or if he put it higher, because Alisson was already committed to going down low to block the shot. I think Pogba should have scored. I mean, I think Pogba's been playing well recently.
Are we not pointing out Salah's miss as well?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He should have scored that.
He should have.
Same the other end, isn't
It's still a draw then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still a draw.
Fair result then.
Everyone knows a 1-1 draw is better than a 0-0 draw. I'd rather take a 1-1 draw.
Oh, yeah. At least there's goals in the game.
Yeah, literally. There's a bit of excitement in the game. But no, yeah. Josh for Southampton, how do they do? Because I know you didn't play 2 games.
We played one against Leicester. We lost it. I knew we'd lose it or we'd go for a 0-0 draw, just because we didn't really have that attacking force that game. We had a few injuries, but then we played twice in the FA Cup. Because obviously with Shrewsbury, they had COVID issues, and the only way of getting around that was cancelling our other game in the double game week and playing them instead. So that's what we did. We beat them, and then obviously we had Arsenal as well. We beat them. Then again, it was Arsenal's B team, so I can't really say much. But it's been alright. It was really what I expected, to be honest. That's all I can say for it. I thought we were going to lose. We did. That's it. We got Arsenal again on Monday, so happy days.
Nice quick analysis on that.
Yeah, it's literally exactly what I thought
win.
it was. It's what I thought was going to happen. I can't say anything other than that.
We'll switch to good old Abby. What about Chelsea?
Do you know what? Obviously, we just heard the news, haven't we, that he's been sacked. Well, we played Fulham 1-1-0. We were kind of, I still think it was a red card from Robinson. I think in modern day football, the way you go into a challenge now, that's a red card, but obviously that can be debated. I think the red card helped us, to be fair. We weren't playing well, even after sending off the first, half an hour in the second half before we scored. Still didn't think that goal would have come, and then obviously Mount's been our best player for like the past few weeks. Came up with a goal. So we won 1-0, and then we got absolutely killed by Leicester. I didn't think we were good whatsoever. I think they had about 4 or 5 shots on target, but still they didn't really trouble Schmeichel. And obviously we are where we are in the league. Lampard's now been sacked. So, let's hope there's better things to come. But in regards to them 2 games, the performances just weren't convincing, wasn't good enough. And I think it's been a bit of a reality check now with the players with the announcement of Lampard, and it's up to them to step up now. So not really much else to say. I think he should. I think he's been our best player this season. With all the big names that we've brought in, obviously Silva's done a job in defence, Mendy in goal, but he's still been a little bit shaky. I think these past few games. I think the goals were defensive errors, in my opinion. I mean, especially the second one, the ball over the top. They both went to Vardy and left Maddison there. Mind you, we're not really scoring any really good goals unless it's against Morecambe or Luton. But
should have been 4-1.
Yeah, I think it's tough at the moment. I think it's the last month's been tough for any Chelsea fan. Performances aren't good enough, but as I said, with them 2 games, we are where we are in the league, and we obviously deserve to be there. So that's that, really.
Do you think that's Lampard's fault, or is it the players' fault? Because I know there was something about saying, "Oh yeah, Lampard's given up on maximising his big signings." But the thing is, how much time do you really want to give him?
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I know other fans might disagree, but I think we brought too many players. I mean, if that's even a thing.
Well, have you seen that the only player that Lampard actually wanted was Chilwell?
He wanted Havertz, for sure. He personally wanted Havertz. You saw.
Arguably,
I
just saw it on this thing after he sacked that apparently that there was just loads of miscommunication and he didn't actually
Yeah,
want
but
Werner or
I
all these
think
players that were
before
coming in.
Lampard, until Lampard comes out, you won't know what he really thinks about it. And I
Mhm.
think that's the only really, like source of evidence that you can go off, because there's rumours about everything and everyone, and a lot of stuff that you read is fake. But I think in terms of, is it Lampard's fault? I think we know he played a few, as I've been going on for weeks about Werner, oh my God, being played out of position. But at the same time, if you're good enough, you adapt to it, don't you? And I think you, both the players and a manager, do have to take blame.
There's only like so much you can adapt if you're playing out of position, though.
I can agree with that. I can agree.
I
But I think going forward, we have too many attacking players that can't sit on the bench each week, and we can't find that consistent formation and starting lineup. And I think that's been the issue for us, and chopping and changing, not working, no time for it to work since we went on them run of games that we didn't lose. I think it's hard, but obviously I'm not happy with the decision itself. But I think something had to be done, and Lampard being sacked is what's happened.
I think those first 2 goals of that Chelsea game was how they should be attacking. 2 up front, Tammy Abraham obviously getting the 2 goals.
I mean, it's against Luton. I
know it's against Luton, but I think it could work in the Prem as well.
Oh,
we were all saying for ages they should switch to 2 up front, and the first time he's done that, they've won, and he's been sacked.
That's not the first time he's done it.
Is it not?
But then again,
it's not the first time.
Luton though, but it is Luton though, so.
I mean, we did the same thing against Morecambe. I mean, it's not, and obviously who did we bring on? We brought on Werner against Fulham, and I think him and Callum changed the game. But I mean, it is what it is, and let's just hope things can get better, because we have the squad that can challenge for the title. But obviously, something's not going right now, and obviously they've tried to rectify that with sacking Lampard and seeing if it's I can't pronounce his name, Tuchel, whatever his name is, from Paris Saint-Germain, ex-Paris Saint-Germain manager, comes in. If that changes anything midway through the season, we shall see. But it is what it is.
It's just, I don't know. It's a weird one with Chelsea, because I mean, we're in the same boat in terms of having Ole, and we haven't got rid of him because he's a club legend. We don't really want to ruin his name and stuff like that. The thing is, sacking Frank Lampard shouldn't have happened. They should have just let him put in a formal request to leave, and it should have been like, "Oh, Frank Lampard has left on his own terms."
He would never do that. He would never do that. No,
because it would have been better though if he said it like that.
Yeah, but
no,
he would never have gone, I want to leave. He would never do that, because he loves the club. He's like probably our biggest legend alongside Terry and Drogba. He would never leave a club, leave Chelsea. He would keep fighting to the end, because he supports the club. He's not gonna just leave it. I mean, sacking him would be the only option to get rid of him in that sense. He would have never left. He would have never been like, I think my time's up. He would have never done that.
No, I still think he should have been like, it should have genuinely been like, oh, I cannot keep up managing with this club, and I don't want to see it go down, so therefore I shall leave. Something like that would have been probably better for it.
I mean, that's debatable, but I don't agree with that.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is, and we'll just see what happens now. But obviously, you can tell I'm quite sad about it, because, I think we should have stuck with it, but it's happened now, so we'll just see what the new guy can bring in, whoever that may be. We know it might be the PSG guy, but we'll see what happens, and if he can turn these, well-known players, good players across Europe, make them all come together, and which we haven't really seen a lot. But
Yeah, fair enough. You switch it to the good old Championship. We've got Harry Kelly with us, who's a Rotherham fan. Take us through your game against Stoke, Harry.
By Stoke drew 3-3, which on paper seems like quite a good result, because Stoke are quite. I know they're competing for the playoffs this season. I think they're 8, and on paper it looks a good result, considering we're down at the bottom in the relegation zone. But after leading twice, I'm a bit disappointed that we didn't get the 3 points in the end. But before the game, I would have taken a point. But all things considering, I think we're desperate for wins, and it would have been the first time we've got back-to-back wins in the Championship since I think 2016. So it would have been nice for that, but 3-3, can't complain. Loads of teams will lose to Stoke this season, I'm sure. So
Fair enough.
Haven't you got Jamel Blackman in goal? Sorry, Roshan.
Yeah,
I thought you did. Yeah, from Chelsea.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say. But no, yeah, Harry, do you reckon Rotherham will stay up then? Because you're currently set 22nd. Obviously, you've got 3 games in hand on Derby, who's above you. Do you reckon you can stay up this season or not?
I think we can, yeah, because the team we've got at the moment, we went through a bad patch before Christmas. I think lost a few in a row, and then we had a game cancelled due to COVID, and then since then, we played Everton in the cup, played really well, took them to extra time, lost 2-1, and then we beat Wayne Rooney's Derby County 1-0, and then obviously drew with Stoke. I'm playing a lot better now, it seems. I don't know whether it's the 2-week break we had, or whether they've just realised that we need to start picking up points. But yeah, we're playing better. I think we can win. I think we can stay up. I think we can win. I think we can beat the teams below us. We've got Wickham and Sheffield Wednesday who are below us, who we've beaten already this season. Whether there's another team that's worse than us that will finish in the bottom 3, I think there are a few. We just need to drag other teams into it, and with the 3 games in hand, I don't think we'll win all 3. That's a big stretch, but if we can get a win out of those 3, or a win and a draw, then I think that'll put us in a good position.
Okay. I mean, obviously, we all know the Championship is definitely the hardest league in probably what I'd say is the world. To be honest, I don't think there's any other league as competitive as the Championship.
Yeah,
because you've got all range of teams, like teams coming up from League One. You've got teams coming down from the Premier League. It's just difficult.
Yeah, lots of teams. There's teams in there. So many of them are ex-Premier League. Got so much money, spend a lot, which we can't really compete financially. So we've got to go about it a different way. Got to be a bit more sort of pragmatic when it comes to games. And we're quite when we face teams, we're quite set up quite defensively, but we've played teams like Bournemouth this season who score goals for fun, and we've drawn with them. We've lost to Norwich at home just from a last-minute goal, and we've run a lot of teams close this season. We've just conceded too many late goals. That's been our problem.
Fair enough. I know, obviously, for us as United, we concede too many early goals. It even proves in our game against Liverpool. I just don't understand anymore. We just keep, every time we know the one thing we always do is we concede early goals, and we somehow can't stop it, no matter what we try. We even let Salah score for the first time at Old Trafford. I was really hoping he wouldn't, but he just did.
Yeah, I won't complain about that though. You still played well enough to beat them, and I thought Fernandez's free kick was really good, the one in the FA Cup. And obviously you got that 0-0 draw that you mentioned earlier, and obviously you're top of the league. And I mean, ask anyone else here. I mean, I didn't expect that at this stage of the season, halfway through. I did not expect Man United to be top of the league. I would have expected Liverpool or Man City. I mean, you've got the points on the board, and you've come back from that spell, that we were all right at the beginning of the season when we were questioning Ollie then. And I mean, I think obviously the team that's top always deserves to be top. And I think you're playing really well right now. I really do.
I didn't even expect us to be at the top. I'm not even gonna lie. I always thought
Who did?
But then, like, the thing is as well, we still have to bear in mind City have got a game in hand on us. That's the one thing we've got to bear in mind. But like, obviously, I really hope City draw the next game, and I hope I know it's against West Brom, but I really want a 0-0 draw. That would be like the most ideal thing ever.
That's the least likely result to happen.
I know. If it ends 0-0, I will be over the moon. Just because of the fact that I've got 2 City defenders for fantasy, and City don't go above United. That'd be like, when you want your fantasy to do well, and you want your team to do really well as well, and you've got to somehow have to try and find an equilibrium between the two. That's my equilibrium for 0-0.
Oh my God.
But what do we think in terms of now we're like, I know obviously the Championship are like 25 games in, and obviously the Premier League we're in through 19 games already. What's everyone's mid-season prediction now as to where we finish? Obviously,
God.
What you think?
I mean, I know Chelsea. I know I've been very optimistic this whole time. Throughout the podcast, throughout everything, I've been like, oh yeah, we're gonna finish top 4. We're gonna do this. Do I still think it? Yeah, go on. Why not? I'm just gonna be that really stupid Chelsea fan right now that still thinks we're gonna finish top 4. I mean, I think if whoever comes in picks it up, does what we need to do. I mean, I still think we can still do it. We know how tight it is. We're only 4 or 5 points off Liverpool, and we've been absolutely, change managers. Teams not playing well. We're still that close. The ball's in anyone's park at the moment, but I still would like to say we'd finish top 4. Maybe not where I said, a month or so ago. I think I clearly jinxed that. But, I'd like to finish top 4. I can't see why not still, if we pick up. But yeah, why not? Let's throw it in there.
So whereabouts in the top 4 do you reckon you'll finish then? I want a precise.
You want a precise number?
You've got to say 4th.
Yeah.
You've got to say
4th.
4th. Anything higher than 4th.
I can agree. 4.
You can't say higher than 4th. I'm sorry.
Do you know what? You know me earlier. I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna win. I was like, being stupid, like, oh, we'll win the league. But I didn't really think we would. But I feel like we could have finished second if we carried on. But
I remember over the summer when you signed Werner and that Havertz rumours were in, you were messaging me like, it's our season, we're gonna win. You watch, we've got Frank, we've got Werner, we're doing it. Very different.
But you know me, I just chat crap half the time in terms of that. And
understood. Abby went mental about it. The first time. I said right from the start he's going to be a flop, and he has been. And
so far,
No, he's going to score. Just give him time. Then when he scored his first goal.
Yeah, but who of the new Chelsea signings? Let's be real. Apart attacking wise, Werner hasn't lived up to his potential. Havertz hasn't scored a Premier League goal, I don't think, at all. Maybe one. Ziyech has, came in, played, done a few good things, got injured, come back, done nothing.
Havertz has scored a goal. Havertz has scored a goal.
He has scored a goal. Wow.
With 2 assists.
I mean, there you go. I mean, our best signings have been defensively when arguably, the bigger names are attacking players. So I think Mendy's performed, better than what Kepa has. We saw his attempted save for Luton's goal at the weekend. Thiago Silva has organised our defence. That's been fairly questionable over the last, 5 or 6 games in the league, but I still think we've improved. Chilwell has been massive for us. We no longer have a turtle at left back. Ziyech, as I said, Havertz and Werner, I don't think we all know they haven't lived up to their name, their price tag, what we've seen for them last season. I think there's a lot more to come, but at the moment I would still consider all 3 of them as a flop, and that's coming from a Chelsea fan. And out of all of them, Ziyech has played the less, but he's probably been the best out of the three of them. But still, I don't think it's been good for us attacking wise.
Fair enough. What about you, Josh? Where are you saying Southampton?
Southampton to finish.
Yeah.
Poof. Win the league now. No. I'll go with it. I want to finish 6th. I think we can finish 6th. Though the way Ralph's sounding it, he says it's not impossible to finish top 4. That's all I'm saying. No, I'll go with the 6th. I reckon if we get extremely lucky, we could finish 4th. That's luck. That wouldn't be due to anything except for luck. So I'll go with 6th based on our form at the
Fair
moment.
enough. Luke, what about you? Where are Liverpool going to finish?
Obviously, I'd love to say first, but with our form and how shaky our defence is at times, and our finishing as well, I'd probably say 2nd. And I actually think that it'll probably be Man City who win the league. If they go on this run of form, if they carry it on for another, I don't know, God knows how long, like another few games, and they really pick up the momentum, I think they could finish quite far ahead of everyone else.
I agree.
I think Man United, as good as they've been recently, they'll drop off a little bit. Maybe not as much as other times, but I think they'll probably finish like 3rd. So Liverpool 2nd.
Fair enough. Harry, what about you? Where would Rotherham finish?
I think it'll be tight. It's hard to tell at the minute due to the games in hand, but I think we will stay up. I do think. I think it'll be. I don't think be any higher than 21st, but I do think we'll stay up. Anything above that would be a big bonus, and we'd have to go on quite a good run to do that. But yeah, I think we'll stay up.
So you're predicting 21st, which is just scraping a stay up technically.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I mean, that's pretty much realistic. Obviously, for me, I'd like to say we'd finish top, but I know that is probably near on, maybe impossible. But I'd reckon we finish something like, I don't know. It's weird. I think we'd finish like 2nd or 3rd, but I'm more inclined to say 3rd, just because I know there's teams like City and.
No, just say 1st for the jokes.
I'm not gonna say 1st for the jokes. I'm being realistic, and I'm gonna say we'll probably finish 2nd. That's what I'm gonna say, because I know we've got better squad depth than Liverpool right now, and City have got the best squad depth. So that's what I'm gonna say. City 1st, us 2nd, Liverpool 3rd. That's what I'm going with. And then 4th is Leicester. Chelsea not making top 4.
I mean, I'll take that. I mean, I won't take that, but if I'm being realistic, I said Chelsea 4th, didn't I? But if I'm going to go what I think the top 4 will be, as what Luke said, I think Man City, Liverpool, Man United, Leicester, Spurs will be 5th. I think Chelsea will be 6th, Southampton will be 7th, and then no, I'm just. That's what I still think you'll be in Europe with 7th. Is it still 7th?
Yeah, because we're going to win. Because we're going to win the FA Cup. No, it's only if somebody in the top 6 wins the FA Cup.
Well, it's not going to be Arsenal this year, is it? So
No, it's going to be Southampton. We beat the champions.
You did actually. You did actually.
Yeah.
It was this. I can't be hyped about it because it was just the kids. They played against the kids team.
Yeah, but you still beat But I mean, Arsenal still had a good enough squad out to win that game. They had a good enough squad. They've got William,
not to beat that Southampton team.
Yeah, but on paper, you've got a £70 million Pepe on the wing. He's got to do something, isn't he?
This is Pepe we're talking about. Let's not.
Yeah.
And then William, £200 a week.
They had Cedric, our ex right back, as left back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was rubbish. I
mean, you've got to
he's
play him
not
sometime,
good.
haven't you?
Yeah, true. And then, and to be fair, we didn't even score a goal. It was an own goal.
Gabriel, wasn't
it was.
Yeah.
It was Gabriel, their new centre back. We didn't even score. So,
this season's
fair
just mad.
play.
I think everything is just crazy. Premier League, obviously, I love watching the Championship as well. I think the Championship is going to be the tightest it's been for a while. Because obviously you've got the 3 teams that came down in Bournemouth, Norwich, and Watford that are all up there. And then the other teams like Reading's pressing. Who else we got? There's so many teams up there. I can't even name them. Obviously Stoke, Swansea,
Brentford are really good.
Brentford. Yeah, I think it's going to be super tight. I mean, I think the 3 that came down might go back up still. That was my prediction earlier in the season. And I think it still might be that. But yeah, I think, who do we think is going to go down though from the Premiership? I mean, I know I said earlier about West Brom, Sheffield United and Fulham. I've said that for quite over a month now, but obviously Fulham have picked up recently. And I think Burnley are dropping down. I know they beat Liverpool, but I think that I still don't think Burnley are playing particularly well.
It's just football as always.
Yeah, over the top all the time.
Yeah.
I think it's a tough season.
1 second. I mean, I don't know what you guys are thinking, but in recent group chat conversations, I think they're Barcelona now.
I mean, they didn't do much against Liverpool. I mean, they got the penalty. It was a penalty, I think. Alisson did.
It wasn't even open play. It was a penalty.
It was a penalty. Yeah.
It was a pen.
It was a pen.
No, never mind. I'm just not going to speak. If I speak, I'm in trouble.
Why are you in trouble?
I don't know.
I just don't like Burnley.
Yeah. I never have liked them.
I just don't like him.
No.
It's boring.
We all agree that we all hate Burnley. We all agree on that right now.
We all hate Burnley.
I've just never met
What's
a
the
Burnley
point?
fan until Dean.
Yeah,
To any of
I didn't know they existed.
To any of the Burnley fans listening, we don't hate you personally. We just hate your club. That's
the only story I've heard about Burnley is when my dad went up to go watch Southampton there as an away game, and after the game he got punched in the face for sounding Southern. He wasn't even wearing a Southampton top, nothing. He was just out with some of his mates that were up there and got punched in the face for being a Southerner.
Wow.
That's all I need to say about Burnley.
So do we think Burnley will go down for that?
I don't know. It is weird because Burnley they're just like that mid-table team, like just slightly. Actually, not even like mid-table. They're like slightly just above relegation zone.
They're more
they
like
never veer into it.
To mid.
Like they're never gonna come. If we're having Sean Dyche and not signing any players, they're just never gonna accomplish anything. They're just gonna always be there.
Yeah.
I personally think if they don't go down this season, they'll be going down next season. With the teams coming up, because I think Burnley would just be like they just won't have a good enough squad.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's hard for Brighton and Newcastle as well. I mean, Brighton have looked better. Newcastle.
I feel so bad for Newcastle.
Been poor.
I feel so bad for them. All these hopes over summer of them getting like loads of money, and they're just absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
You got to feel bad for them, especially now they're 16th.
I mean, they were going to sign Mbappe. We all know that for sure. Mbappe is definitely going to Newcastle.
Why would they sign him when you've got?
No, who was it? No, it was somebody else.
Cavani, wasn't it?
Yeah. They were going to sign Cavani.
They were.
Yeah, they were. But there was stuff around on Twitter just going, "Oh yeah, Newcastle got so much money, they're going to sign Mbappe as a joke."
If they did, I find that so funny.
I would have found that. I would have loved it if Mbappe was playing for Newcastle. That would have been so class.
Can you imagine Messi at Man City, Ronaldo
Just
back at Man United?
If that had gone through, we could have seen a whole different Premier League this season.
Well, I mean, next season we will, because Leeds are signing their deal with the San Francisco 49ers. So they're going to
I've seen that.
Yeah, they got a bigger stake now, haven't they, in the team?
Yeah, especially if Southampton have a good cup run and finish in a decent place as well, like Europe or something like that, we'll get more money.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So, and then Arsenal have less money.
Yeah. I mean, Arsenal have arguably the richest owners. I don't know if you've read about it before.
Yeah.
But obviously, Kroenke, what is it? The Rams, Los Angeles Rams that he owns, NFL team. He's got NBA teams. He's a wealthy guy. But I think they see Arsenal. He does more as an investment in terms of, making money. Yeah, making profit rather than seeing the club do well. I mean, Arsenal are a massive team, and over the Wenger's reign, but since Wenger's gone, it hasn't been the same. I know they've won the FA Cup. I just realised I rhymed then as well. But yeah, I think there's always been arguments. My dad's a massive Arsenal fan. He doesn't want him in the club because he's not investing in what Arsenal should be, and they're currently not a big team. We know Arsenal used to be top 6 because this is a top 6 team. I don't think they no longer are. They're not, are they? And I think, as we were mentioning, Newcastle, they need that financial investment because they're a massive club. So was Sunderland. I think both them teams in the Tyneside area, absolutely massive clubs, massive stadiums, really loyal fans. And I think it's sad to see teams like that, especially Sunderland, go in the way that they have done. I'm now in League One and struggling. I think it's, and with obviously COVID, I think it's hard to see teams like that fall so much and not get them investments that they do deserve and need to get them back up to where they belong. I mean, I think Newcastle should be a top half of the table team consistently and even push for Europe like they used to, but it's not like that now, and I think it's quite hard. I don't know what you guys think about that, but
I mean, I know in terms of like what you're saying with COVID and stuff, I know it does have an impact on players because before that, before the United and Liverpool game, the FA Cup one, Gary Lineker had an interview with Bruno, and he was basically talking about how he's been so successful starting off in the United squad. And obviously his main thing that he said was realistically the reason why he performed so well was the fans pushing him on. And I think it does make a difference. Like he said it himself. And I think some teams as well have noticed it, whereby without fans, they've started either performing a lot better or without fans, they've started not playing as good. Like we've seen Tottenham play a lot better recently without fans because people just aren't like, what's the word? They aren't ripping into them as much about.
I think it's like less pressure upon the players to like actually like perform in front of the fans. It's more just like about them playing their football and doing what they do. So I think it's obviously helped some players, but some players who, I don't know, they might have an ego or not. I don't know. Some players with an ego might want the fans there to. I'm not saying anybody has an ego, but I'm saying some players like who need that sort of like yes, like cheering them on. They're struggling a bit, but in terms of Bruno, he clearly isn't struggling. He clearly likes having the calm sort of mentality in the games.
I agree.
He just said he prefers it when like the fans push him on to go and attack forward. He has more motivation for it. I mean, even let's be honest. I reckon with fans, Liverpool would not have lost to Burnley. I reckon.
I was just about to ask Luke about that.
Not a chance.
They'd be lost many games.
Got Liverpool fans screaming at the Kop end. There's no way Burnley are keeping a clean sheet.
I know.
Yeah.
Especially with the record on the line as well.
Yeah.
It's like the games that Southampton have played against Man City. We beat them 1-0, and then again Liverpool, we beat them 1-0. But with the fans there, I know it was at Southampton at home, but I still think with some away fans there, it would be a different story.
I agree.
I've never seen us not concede to those sort of teams, and we kept them at 1-0. But to be fair, our defence against them was quite decent. To be fair, it was quite solid, but I think with away fans there, it'd just be completely different.
Yeah. What do you think about Old Trafford then, Roshan? Because obviously, I think for an away team, it's probably one of the hardest places to go, apart from maybe Anfield. And obviously, I remember when Old Trafford used to be a fortress when Fergie was there. Do you think, obviously, without fans there, do you think it's harder or easier? Because obviously, United fans are always on the backs of the players. I mean, I know most teams are, but obviously with United's history and stuff. So what do you think about, do you prefer fans not being there for that respect? And obviously where you are in the league now, do you think it's helped?
Honestly, I do prefer having fans at Old Trafford, and it showed so much. Honest, you are right. Old Trafford used to be a fortress, and now it's not. We at home, we are so bad. Whenever we play in a game, and I see we're playing at home, at this point in time now, I'm like, no, please, we're gonna lose. Every time I see us play away, I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, we're gonna win. We literally had 9 back-to-back away wins, and in that time, while we had that, we lost. Actually, no, we didn't lose. Yeah, we lost 3 games at home and drew 2 in that same period. That's just not what we do. We normally win at home and another draw away. But this time it's been completely different. It's been flipped. I don't know why. It could be down to fans. It could be down to players. I really don't have a clue. But I think it does make a difference, to be fair, though.
Yeah, obviously having fans there is massive for anyone. And we all miss going.
I think with Old Trafford it used to be one of the loudest stadiums in the world.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean,
Might be
it
wrong,
still is now.
Yeah,
It still is.
You got Bruno shouting.
We have the loudest fake crowd noise. No, that's what it is. We have the loudest fake crowd.
Does that actually get played into the stadium? I know it did at times.
Yeah,
Does it still do now?
Yeah, it still does. To be fair,
I just turn it off.
There's if you watch obviously if you watch the game through MUTV, then you've got the little option where they can play it, where you can play the game, where you can listen to the game without the crowd noise. It's weird because
I prefer it.
I prefer it.
I prefer it so you can hear the players talking to each other. I mean,
yeah.
some of the time you're hearing profanities coming from their players' mouths, but it is good when they're speaking tactically, get out, push or oh, it's great. I love it.
I think
Bruno, pass it here.
What about teams, Harry? What about teams like Rotherham? They're not as obviously big as our clubs that we've got in the Prem, where they're near towards the Big Six and stuff. Do you think it makes more of a difference lower down?
Yeah, I think it does. Because as a team like us, we have to home form is massive. And if we don't have the fans in the stadium, then the game can lose that sort of edge, and the players might not get the confidence and belief that they can beat teams that are a lot better than them on paper. So yeah, I think fans are very important for a team like us.
Fair enough.
And I think it helps with decisions as well, because obviously you've got Middlesbrough. Is it Middlesbrough next?
Yeah, Middlesbrough.
Yeah. And obviously, I don't know if any of you saw the game against Middlesbrough and Blackburn. Obviously, Middlesbrough lost 1-0, but they had that very controversial penalty not given to them. A Blackburn player kicked the Middlesbrough player in the face, and it was really bad, and there was no penalty given. But do you think, especially having fans there, do you think that probably would have influenced the ref to actually give a penalty? Because I think Middlesbrough were at home and might be wrong. But what do you think about that in terms of just having fans there? Obviously, with not VAR, you don't have that luxury, as you say, is like our teams do in the Premier League. So with the fans there, do you think that might have influenced a decision like that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think I don't know if the referees are ever influenced by the crowd, but you'd surely think so in a game that, especially if there's like a big ground, lots of fans pressuring him, then I do think that it would impact decisions like that. And had there been fans at that game, then I do think the referee would have had more of a decision to make if the home fans were pressuring him.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it was so blatant, wasn't it? The guy was actually bleeding quite a lot from his face, and if the ref, if you guys haven't seen it, I know me and Harry have, but if you haven't seen it, I would definitely go watch it because it was that bad. The referee just kind of just ignored it. Oh yeah, the guy's bleeding. Let's just leave him there. Let's not give a penalty. But his foot was that high. I mean, that's why you question VAR sometimes, and obviously the Championship don't have it. And with the fans not there, it makes decisions like that not, worse because they don't get decisions that they should necessarily get. And I think, that's another question. But
I mean, it depends because we've spoken to Josh Braxton about this, and we have spoken to Tao as well about having VAR in the Championship and League One, and both of them didn't want it. But then
I don't blame them.
On top of that as well,
League.
I mean, let's be honest. In the Premier League, it's helped certain teams. It hasn't helped every team. Most teams have been hindered by it, and most teams have benefited. And obviously United have benefited by it a huge amount. Brighton have been benefited by it as well a lot more. In fact, Brighton have got more points from VAR than we have.
I think they need them.
Yeah, they do. To be fair, but no, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, even Chelsea's first goal would have been ruled out by VAR because there was two footballs on the pitch at the time.
There was.
So realistically, you would have scraped the win against Luton with VAR.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something you really want to think about, is it? Really?
I mean, I would like to think about that. I think it's quite good.
Oh, I just don't know. I mean, I'm glad the goal stood. Let's just say that because I was worried when they made it 2-1, but we're into the next round now with that, and a cup run would be nice. I think for a Chelsea fan, a cup run would be lovely, because obviously, as I said, I'm being very realistic with a top four, but being honest, I don't think we'll make it, and I think a cup run would help the fans in a tough season so far.
Do you think VAR would help Championship and League One teams and non-league teams that all play in the FA Cup? Do you reckon if they did VAR in the FA Cup, do you reckon it'd help the smaller teams or not?
I do. It's hard to say because I don't know. Mixed opinions are on VAR. There's a lot of mixed opinions, but if it was, I know on personally because Rotherham have had a lot of decisions go against them this season that I personally think should have gone our way, but so I personally would like VAR because I think we'd have had a few of the decisions overturned. But to be honest, if VAR did come in, it kind of it slows the game down a bit, and a lot of goals have been chalked off that would usually never be disallowed. So I think it kind of kills the game a little bit in that sense. But if it meant, would I rather have decisions that should definitely be overturned? Then yeah, I would have VAR.
Okay. What about you, Jake? Do you reckon it's going to help the smaller teams or not?
I think it would, but then again, I think we'd come back to the same argument on so many games. I think there'd be so many games where decisions that should never have been given would be given either in favour of the smaller team or the bigger team. We'd end up arguing about it again. I think, yes, it probably would help in most situations with the smaller teams because then I guess they can't get, I don't know, like unfairly given a disadvantage over the bigger teams with probably more of their experience with handling VAR. But yeah, I think it probably would help, but there'd be a lot of controversy still with it, even more so.
Okay. Yeah, you are right. I don't know. I feel like for me, if I was to say it, the way VAR's gone in the Prem, it's really difficult because big teams have benefit from it, but also small teams have as well. So you are right, both of you, in terms of saying like it's a hard one to judge. I don't know. It's a weird one, realistically. I don't know about what.
It's not just VAR though. It's because of VAR they're coming up with like all these different like parameters of what a foul should be, what a handball should be. Is this a foul? Is it not a foul? Oh, he went for the ball, so it's not a foul. Like, so it's okay to have VAR, but then to start like changing what the parameters of what a foul is, what a handball is, all like these different things, it's just a bit too far for me. In terms of that, like just have VAR, but don't start changing all these different things to do with football that are already in place
surrounding it.
Yeah. So I don't have a problem with the VAR being there, but when there's rules being changed and no one's clear of what it should be or what it shouldn't be, then I think it goes a bit too far.
Okay, that makes a bit of sense. I know something that's been talked about a lot has been the number of subs that you get. So I know obviously we've now seen in the FA Cup you're allowed 5 subs instead of 3. And there's a lot of talk as well. I know Abby's mentioned this previously about concussion subs, whereby it works the same way as rugby in terms of head injury assessments, where a player comes off and gets assessed in for their head, obviously, if they've had a concussion or there's serious damage or stuff like that. And if they're fit, then they come back on the pitch. If not, then they stay off and the sub remains as it happened. What is everyone thinking on that?
I think that's fair. In terms of like, yeah, if they're injured, then it's not really fair that their team then has to play 10 men down because somebody's headbutted them and caused them concussion.
Yeah.
So like, honestly, I think it's very fair. In terms of like being 10 like 10 men down and stuff like that, like 1 man down. So
there wouldn't be 1 man down. The way it would work is if someone gets a concussion, they come off and get swapped.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like before these concussion subs, it was like if they have to go off, then they're off, aren't they?
You're off.
Yeah, but then they'd make a sub, so you'd still be 11 the whole time, but they've had to make a full sub on it.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I think it's fair. I think yeah.
I mean, Abby, what do you think?
I mean, I'm all for it because I think with the amount of head injuries we've seen over the years, whether that's cuts, concussions, I think it's starting to increase a lot more than it used to be. Well, from what I've seen in football, and I think with health and safety now, you need to kind of just take that step. And I think the introduction of concussion subs has been approved, but they don't know when they're going to like roll it out in terms. I think they're going to trial it in a few games in a cup somewhere or something like that. That's what I've read. Obviously, we saw with Jimenez, I think that's been the turning point to actually do something about it, because obviously there's no date for his return. Wolves had to use a sub. Obviously, they had it available because it was, I think it was still in the first half, his injury. But having that concussion sub just gives teams a bit of more, reassurance, especially if they've already used all 3 and they have to take a player off because of a concussion or any injury, then they're down to 10 men. I think having that extra sub for concussion will be beneficial for football and, won't put teams at a disadvantage. And I think, as you said, if they do it as rugby do it, I think it will be a beneficial thing for the sport. And I think it's very much needed.
Fair enough. Luke and Harry, what do you two think as well?
I think it should have always been a thing, but I think especially now with the Jimenez injury, it should be something that, because you need to take the health and safety of the players obviously as the first priority, especially with examples in the past of players with head injuries ending up having to retire because of it. I think there was a Hull player a few years ago.
Mason.
Was it right? Ryan Mason? Yeah, who fractured his skull and ended up having to retire because of it, because the impact of heading a ball could be fatal if he carried on. I think you always have to take the player's health and safety as the utmost priority.
What about you, Harry? What do you think on the concussion side? Do you think it should be something introduced into the Championship as well?
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer because, everyone's saying, health and safety. Yeah, I do think it needs to be. I think it should have been done a lot earlier, concussion sub, because an injury like that is so dangerous. Obviously physically, but long term as well. It can be quite damaging, and teams shouldn't. It's not something you can, with a muscle injury or anything. You can do your best to prevent those, but a head injury, you can't really, plan for it. So I think it'd be unfair for teams to have to use one of their subs. So yeah, I do think I think it's long overdue.
Fair enough. I know I've spoken to a lot of my mates within the rugby society, and they've said a lot of it in terms of they feel like football is behind in terms of certain rules and technology and stuff like that. Because I know cricket have had stuff like bird's eye review and things like that. Rugby have got TMO, and then it's only been recently that football introduced VAR, and obviously now cricket and rugby both have head injury assessment subs, and now football is starting to come up with concussion subs. What do you lot think? Do you think football are behind in terms of these health and safety and these other assisting referee aids?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
We're always behind. I don't know why.
I think they were trying to keep football as traditional as possible without implementing all of these loads of different technological stuff and that, but it's not helped anyone at all.
Yeah, it's hard in it because obviously we saw a lot of mistakes with offside goals, one notably when Chelsea scored against Cardiff and towards the end of the season and pretty much sent them down because they lost. That would have been changed. The outcome might not have been different for Cardiff. It might have been the same. But I think blatant offsides VAR does contribute. It does help. But obviously we've seen at times it doesn't. But I think as a whole, the introduction of it is positive for the sport to keep up with, as you say, rugby and cricket. And I think it's a good thing to have, whether it does make mistakes. We know it does, but the ones they do make, it does benefit teams. And I think overall, I think VAR has been good for football.
Fair enough. I mean, I would say I wouldn't say it's been good for football. I'd say it's been good for us. That's my personal opinion. I don't know about anybody else.
Good for Man United?
Yeah. Good for Man United, obviously. I mean, we've won God knows how many free kicks and penalties off it. And no, for the record, Bruno is not Fernandes. He did score a free kick, so there you go.
Probably as close as you can get to a penalty outside the box.
Hey, free kick is a free kick. At the end of the day, Alisson couldn't save the free kick. There you go. That's all that needs to be said.
It was a very good free kick, to be fair.
I mean, he almost scored in the 0-0 draw. He almost scored in the 0-0 draw, and I was like, I beg this goes in. And he didn't. And he worked on it, and he realised, I just slotted bottom corner. And it was smart. But oh well. At least we can conclude Bruno is not Fernandes. I just want to get that out of the way. Everyone says, yeah, I don't
know.
want
He's not. He's not.
Fernandes.
He's sick at set pieces. What do you mean he's not? He's sick. He doesn't. Admittedly, he doesn't always score his free kicks, but he does get assists off them as well.
I mean, I think he's probably been the best player this season. In the league, in my opinion. I think obviously Salah and that did start well, and top goal scorer and that, but I think as a whole, I think Fernandes has brought something to United now that he's fully settled in. I mean, he started well anyway, but I think now the team's behind him. Cavani's performing, Rashford's up there, Greenwood obviously got a goal. I think United are a strong team. Just need to improve a little bit defensively, and I think it's a shock as to where they are for me, and obviously to you, Roshan. I wouldn't expect them to be first, but I think they're playing well, and I think Fernandes has been the catalyst for that, in my opinion.
Yeah, he has. He definitely has. 100%. I don't know. I don't think any other player we could have potentially got that would have done the same. Like, he's amazing, but the one thing that I don't like about having Bruno is that we can't use Van der Beek, which is so annoying. Even though they both play different positions, the thing is, Van der Beek has never done anything wrong. Like, he literally has not done anything wrong on the pitch at all. I don't think I've ever seen him make an error, but he just doesn't get the play time because Bruno's so good at what he does. That's why I like. That's the only part of me that just doesn't like Bruno, is the fact that we can't play Van der Beek.
I think also with the fact that Fred's doing bits as well. He can't even get in there either.
And McSauce and Pogba.
Obviously, I would say
Pogba,
McSauce is obviously the more defensive midfielder.
McSauce.
And then you also have the more attacking one, which has been Pogba or Fred or someone like that. So I just don't think Van der Beek was a must signing, to be honest. And I felt that was that's what I say. It's more of a panic buy than anything.
Pointless.
It was a great panic buy, but it just not helped us at all.
Should have panic bought a centre back or someone, surely.
No. The last time we did that, we got Maguire. We're not panic buying centre back.
You might have got lucky this time. You don't know.
No, we're not gonna get lucky on a panic buy centre back. Every centre back that we have bought that has been good has been methodical and thought out. We bought Nemanja Vidic, which was methodical. We bought Rio Ferdinand like 2 seasons after he played with Leeds. That was a great decision. We panicked by Maguire. He's our only panic. Actually, Maguire, Jones, Rojo. Those are 3 panic buy centre backs. All 3 are awful. I don't think I've seen anything good from either of those 3 at all. It's just hard in terms of like getting the right players and fitting them into your system and stuff like that. And
tell me about it.
I mean, obviously, you've got Werner and them. I know Liverpool are missing their centre backs. They're really missing them. The fact that the fact that he didn't have Henderson playing against us in the second game really showed.
Well, Matip as well in that FA Cup game. Like,
you can
tell that he's played really well, but Reece Williams was so out of his depth in that game. There was any like senior, like well-versed centre back there. I'm not saying we would have won, but I think one of the goals at least we would have been able to stop.
Maybe. I don't know. Literally, all I know probably from that game was like Reece Williams against Rashford was it was never a good thing. He was
skinning him every time.
He literally was. It was
the point where we literally had to like chop Rashford down to get him off the ball.
It was like the best thing I've ever seen from like Rashford against like a youth player. He just destroyed him. But no, that's that. At least we know. At least we know to end with that we do have that we should. We've all said we do want the cash and subs. That's a great thing to add in. We've all said that we agree none of our teams will finish top of any of our leagues. We said Rotherham will finish 21st. We said that Liverpool will finish second, is what Luke said. I've said United will finish second. Josh Brown has said Southampton will finish sixth, and Abby is still predicting top four.
With
you got to be realistic.
With a chance of fourth.
What? So you're predicting sixth with a chance of fourth? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, if we're lucky.
Okay, yeah. And then
I'll say first then if he thinks fourth.
No.
Oh
All I'm saying, Dean, Chelsea below Southampton this season. That's all I'm going to put out there.
It's not happening. I'm telling you.
So.
I'm saying it now.
You say so, mate. We're on the same points, and we've got a game of hand on you, mate.
If Chelsea finish first this season, I will buy everyone in our society a shot. If Chelsea finish first.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll buy them all a Lamborghini.
Oh my god!
I'll do a Leicester City.
I haven't got that kind of money, so yeah, I'll do it. I'll buy everyone an alcoholic drink or a drink if they don't drink alcohol.
There we go. No, but honestly, in all honesty, I want your guys' opinions and what you think about Lampard being sacked. Like, do you agree with it? Or do you think it's the right thing? Because obviously you've heard my opinion from earlier. I'm not happy about it, but it was inevitable, in my opinion. Inevitable to happen with the owner that we have and the decisions he makes. But what do you guys think? Like,
personally, with me, there's a lot of pressure on managers. Like, it doesn't matter about the philosophy, the philosophy that they've got at the club. Doesn't matter if it's like they're getting on with the players or anything like that. The only thing that matters to owners are results. If he's not getting what they want, if he spent that much money and he's nowhere near the top four, well, he is near the top four because it's close. But if he's currently sitting in ninth with how many games to go now?
Probably about 19, 18 left, probably.
About 19, 18 left. Yeah, halfway through the season. I don't think the Chelsea bosses were like, that's not very good for you, mate. So, as I say, it's all about results in the manager world, and if you don't get them, you ain't staying. As simple as. Yeah,
I think. Yeah, it was just one bad run this season, and unfortunately, it went on for too long.
It was too bad of a run for them to ignore and let him do it. I think we all knew. Well, we all would have knew if we said at the beginning of the season Chelsea's going to finish below fifth, then we probably would have said it's bye Lampard.
Yeah.
So I think from the position they're in and the bad form, it's fair. I don't know. I think Chelsea just need a different style of play, and
I just personally I wanted Lampard to see out the end of the season.
Yeah, that's what I would have done.
The reason why I wanted him to see it out to the end of the season is because one, we play them again, so I would like a win, a nice easy win.
We drew actually.
That was before you went on your awful run. That was literally before you went on the awful run. But I mean that's that, and then on top of it as well, like the thing is, it is so bad to see a club legend get sacked. When you see him get sacked, it just doesn't. No matter how you look at it, it always looks bad that a club legend has been sacked. That should never have been the case. It should have been what I said earlier, where Lampard releases a statement saying, "I'm not good enough to manage this club," because obviously we all know he respects and that's the club he supports and stuff like that. And he should have said, "I'm not good enough to manage the club. I don't want to see the club go to shit or whatever stuff like that." And that's why he's leaving. That would have been like a lot better. It would have left him on a lot better terms. Obviously, Chelsea fans won't hate him or stuff for what he's done, because at the end of the day, he's your all-time top scorer. But yeah, it just wasn't the best way for him to leave.
Yeah, but I don't think he would have. As I said earlier, I don't think he would have personally done the other option, because for a club that you've played for, a club that you support, and the club that you love, you won't step away from it, even if you think it might be the better thing. But he's thinking, I've spent £220 million, 18 games into the Premier League season, we're sitting ninth. It doesn't look good on me, but at the same time, I need to prove that the money that I have spent will come of some good. And I think that was more of his philosophy and thinking about it, and he would have never stepped away from it. Never.
I just think that the boss is like the boss, like just wouldn't let him continue to the rest of the season. You can't do that.
It's Roman, in it. Roman does it all the time.
I think especially at Chelsea, they just fire him when they want to fire him. Pretty much it. Like, they're not going to wait till the end of a season just to wait to get a different manager that might be even better from the German, like what's his name? I can't pronounce it properly.
Nagelsmann or whatever.
Yeah,
Nagelsmann.
that. They just won't do that. They'll just bring someone else in, and I don't know. It might help. You might think it might help Chelsea, to be honest, because we always see with new managers, they want to perform for the new manager to get in the team. So we might see a boost of form for a little bit for Chelsea, start winning games.
I hope so. Because
realistically,
it's just not good enough.
Realistically, you need an actual long-term manager. All your managers are practically short-term. There's no point in having a new manager if he's only going to stay for like a short period of time. Like Roberto Di Matteo, he won you the league and he won you the Champions League.
We didn't win the league. We didn't win the league.
So you won Champions League, sorry.
FA Cup as well, yeah.
I knew it was a double of some sort. I just can't remember which one. And then either way, then bang, he's out the door. Why? Why is he out the door after he's just won your Champions League?
Yeah, I mean, he came in as a replacement, as it wasn't really a long-term thing. It was just to get us through. But obviously, he won the Champions League, as you said. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, you hire a manager for longevity, and I think we've obviously got this, trend of letting managers not even see 2 years in some cases. I know Mourinho might be the only lucky lad. Why am I calling Mourinho a guy? To actually consistently stay longer than 2 seasons. But at the same time, for a club like Chelsea, and I know you guys probably will agree, you need to have stability and belief in a team of our, caliber and status in the league. And I think we haven't had that for quite a while, and it's quite hard as a Chelsea fan to see that, what was his name? Tuchel, I can't even pronounce his name, will come in. But how long is he going to last for? A season and a half? You don't want to think that, and it's hard. But
I think he'll stay for at least 2 seasons.
At least 2 seasons. So it's just not good enough, is it? It's not. It doesn't.
I don't know what anybody else thinks, but I don't think Thomas Tuchel is a good fit for you. Because you're going from one manager who spent a lot and didn't perform to another manager who's also spent a lot and didn't perform besides one run in the Champions League.
Do you want to know why Mason Mount was captain of against Luton? It's because Frank Lampard knew he was going to get fired, so he put him as captain because Tuchel's going to come in and make Silva the captain just because of that relationship.
100%.
He's a Silva.
100%. But Mount is more of a long-term captain in my eyes. When Silva and Azpilicueta are in Azpilicueta's in his late 20s, early 30s, where Silva's like 36, I think. So he's not got much football ahead of him. So in the short term, Silva and Asby should share the captaincy, but obviously make Thiago it. But long term wise, Mount will be the captain. If he remains at Chelsea, we know about our youth academy and product. They always never stay with us. And I think Terry was the last one that's really fully established himself in the team.
Yes. You are right. You are right. I don't know.
Thanks.
You don't really have much, like, you're kind of in the same boat as us. You don't really have much captain material players, realistically, because we don't have anyone. You're literally in the exact same boat. We've captain Maguire. We've got Maguire as our captain. This guy, he's not fit to be a captain. Genuinely, he's not fit to be a captain. We all know that. But we've got no loud voice on the pitch. you're in the exact same position. You've got no one who's loud on the pitch that'll command every single player. Like, realistically, what both United and Chelsea need is a player, I hate to say it, is a player like Jordan Henderson who actually commands his players on the pitch. We need like a manager on the pitch. Even Ward-Prowse does it as well, to be fair. That's all we need.
Yeah.
I hate Jordan Henderson, but
I don't.
that's one part that he's actually good at.
I know, yeah. Great, as you said, basically like a mini manager on the pitch, screaming at everyone, telling them what to do and like walking them through the game.
I mean,
He should be England captain on a consistent basis.
So you're telling me you'd rather have Jordan Henderson as captain than Harry Kane?
Well, yeah.
Harry Kane shouldn't be even in the team.
I would, yeah.
Yeah, because
just,
I mean,
there we go.
I mean, for a guy that Josh doesn't think should be in the England team, to having a striker as a captain is a lot different than having a captain as says defender or midfielder. Like, he's up at one other end of the pitch.
Striker should focus on scoring, not
Yeah.
managing the whole team.
Exactly. If you're going to have a captain at the other end of the pitch, it's a goalkeeper. It's not a striker, in my opinion. But I think Henderson is more valuable than Kane as a captain, if we're going to speak about that.
I mean, I decided to put it out there. Rooney was a captain, and we did pretty decent with Rooney as our captain.
Yeah, but I think he's a different type of player and character to Kane. I obviously you can compare them, but I think Rooney's a better player than Kane. He was a better player than Kane.
Harry Kane is literally a B-Tech version of Wayne Rooney. He's literally doing the exact same thing as Rooney right now. He's scoring goals, but he's dropping further and further back down the pitch.
Yeah, he is.
Give Harry Kane about 2-3 seasons, and he's going to turn into Wayne Rooney, where he starts playing CDM.
I mean, he did against Chelsea, didn't he?
I love how you always bring that up. You always have to bring that little moment up where he just played one game at CDM.
Yeah, well, we should have won, so I'm still salty about it.
You weren't even in the game.
Well, yeah, we were. We were a better top than them. Mourinho put all 11 players behind the ball. I'm still salty about that game.
Oh my!
Just don't like Spurs.
You were never going to win that game.
Yeah, but neither were Spurs. Yes, we were. If you watched that game and saw the chances we had, we should have beat Spurs.
Win the game. Spurs were not looking to win the game.
Yeah, they're so negative.
No, it's Mourinho trying to be tactical with what he's trying to do.
Yeah, Mourinho is tactically negative against stronger
He's gone
teams.
up to him and gone, "Yo, boys, we're only getting a draw, so that's what we're playing for."
Yeah.
He's like, we only need a draw to stay out there.
All I'm saying is Tottenham are currently 5th.
That is true.
You can't argue with his. You can't argue with his play.
You can't hit a man or woman when they're down. I'm currently down, so I can't be any more further down than what I currently am. So you could just keep hitting me, and I'm just still going to say the same.
I'm not hitting you. I'm hitting Chelsea.
Yeah, but that hits me.
That's like an indirect hit, kinda. Like I hit them. I hit Chelsea first, and then Chelsea hit you. That's what it is. Chelsea have had too many Stellas. That's what That's what's happened.
I just don't know anymore. I'm just a lost Chelsea fan, hoping that we beat Wolves. But Neto will score a 93rd minute winner again.
Realistically, which man? Okay, everyone say this. Realistically, which manager do you think Chelsea should get? If they could get any manager possible, realistically, who do you think Chelsea should get?
If everyone was available.
Dare say it.
Everyone was available. Obviously, besides the retired ones, so you can't go, oh, we'll get Fergie or we'll get Wenger or any of that stuff.
Don't say it. It ain't happening.
He's not even on my list.
Wow. Do you not rate him?
I want a serial winner.
You want a
I want.
Think he can win?
I think it's hard because don't get me wrong. I think Hasenhüttl is done wonders for Southampton, But I think Chelsea need a manager that has won something to get that mentality back. Just in the current, how we are right now. And if I had to pick someone, do you know what? I think to have that winning mentality, I think Tuchel is the right one, because obviously he's won the French league, even though we can all agree that's a farmers' league. But he's won something. He got close to winning the Champions League. But for now, I think he is the best option. Obviously, we've got the Leipzig manager, who knows Werner can get him to work well, and I think he would be a good option at the end of the season. But obviously, that's not going to happen now. So I think right now, the ex-PSG manager is the right option for us, of who is currently available on the market. But if anyone was available, I mean, I would love Guardiola, but that's never going to happen, because if everybody was available. But right now, would be Tuchel for sure.
Fair enough. Well, what about you, Josh? Who do you think?
I think there's only one option if there was everybody available. I think Klopp's better than Guardiola. I'd put it out there. I think he is.
I just think for style of football, I think Guardiola's. I would like a Guardiola at Chelsea. I'm not going to dispute what Klopp's done. I think he's been brilliant for Liverpool, won the Champions League.
Is
But
that
for
just
me
because you want
personally,
wins, or
no, I just think for me, I would prefer Guardiola over Klopp. I mean, I know that's debatable, and you can play either way. But I think for what Klopp's done at Man City, Bayern, Barca, I mean, you can argue he's had the players
do you mean
there.
Liverpool, not
I
Liverpool,
was
not
just about to
City?
say, you just went what Barca City.
Oh,
I
I meant Guardiola. I meant Guardiola. I meant Guardiola. Yeah, I meant my Guardiola. But I think for what he's done consistently, but don't get me wrong, I think Klopp done a good job at Dortmund. But I think that winning mentality, I would love Guardiola at Chelsea. It will never happen, but if I had to throw it out there, I think that would be brilliant for us.
Fair enough. Luke, what about you? Which man do you think Chelsea should get if every manager was available on the market?
Obviously, I'd love to say Klopp, because he's brought, well, from the start of his reign at Liverpool, like the place he brought us from to where we were like a few months ago, with what we've won, and everything like that. It's been insane the amount he's boosted us up. But at the same time, I don't know. I think probably Guardiola would be more of a fit, just because I think Klopp's more used to bringing a team up from, I don't know, quite a rough situation, and then building them all the way up with his plan. Whereas I think if Pep Guardiola came in with all of the like quality players that Lampard brought in, like Werner, Havertz, I don't know. I just think he's more used to coming into a team where he already has loads of quality players and making the best of them. So I think he'd be a better option.
Fair enough. Harry, what about you? What do you think?
If you talk about every manager, I'd say with the players that Chelsea have already got, I do think Klopp would do a good job. He likes to play at a high intensity, and I think the players that Chelsea have, like Werner, Havertz, Mount, to a certain extent, I don't think he's as good as those two yet, but I do think he's got potential to be. I think he'd do really well with the squad, and that's before even bringing his own players in. But if I had to say like a manager that I do think they could get, I think they'll get Tuchel, but I'd really like to see Nagelsmann in the Premier League, because I know he's quite tactically he's very good from what I've heard, and of course he's worked with Werner before, so he could probably get him scoring again.
Fair enough. I know. My opinion. I was saying the Bayern Munich manager. I can't remember his name.
I know who you mean.
Is it?
I can't remember his name, but
Hansi Flick.
yeah, I
Hansi
think that's
Flick.
it. Yeah. If I was Chelsea and he was available on the market, I would have got him. The
Yeah, he's
things
good.
things he's done with Bayern to make him that dominant is incredible. Obviously, we pretty much know the Bundesliga is between Bayern and Dortmund, but obviously, and he's done dominant there. He did win. He did get quite close to DFB Pokal last season. Obviously, this season he was not done the best, but last season he was dominant. And Champions League, he was so dominant. I don't think I've ever seen a team beat Barcelona 8-2. That was
Crazy game.
so comfortable the way he did it. Every team in the Champions League, he completely dominated them. Even that final, the final, okay, was a close result, but he still dominated the whole game. I think he would do wonders at Chelsea.
Yeah, well, I mean, he swept Chelsea aside. Lost 4-0 or 3-0 in the first leg. But I think even this season, I think Bayern and Leipzig. I mean, I know you mentioned Dortmund, but I think Dortmund are like 6th or 7th this season in the Bundesliga, and Dortmund have had their chances these past few years, especially last season, to really challenge Bayern for the title, and then obviously they lost that game against them that really just threw it out of the picture. But I agree. I think Flick has done well for Bayern, and I think there's only so many times you can win the league in Germany, and he came in, didn't he? Not at the beginning of the season, sometime in the middle. But I think he's a good option for any Premier League team, really, if they want to, move on, and maybe Arsenal.
Nah, I think Arteta fits right for Arsenal. I think it's just
mid-table, but not. He
No,
can't
his
propel
players.
them.
Oh no, he can. It's just his
No.
players.
Oh.
What are you gonna do with an out of form Aubameyang? You can't really do much. When your best striker is Lacazette, you're in trouble. You know you're in trouble.
I don't think he's that bad. I mean, I think he went through a spell as well where he wasn't scoring, and I think him and Aubameyang have switched roles in that. I mean, one of them was scoring, one of them wasn't. And I think Aubameyang started to come back a bit more now, but I think since he signed that contract, he hasn't been the same. You could say the same for St. Maximin as well. I mean, I know he's had COVID, but signed contract not been the same. I think it's a lot for quite a few players, but I like Arsenal obviously more than Spurs, and obviously my dad supports them, so I like to see them do well in some respects, but I think they need somebody else that can come in and deal with the situation a bit more, but obviously they don't have much money to spend in terms, and I think Arteta is doing a good job, but for the future I don't think he's the man.
I feel like he is though, because he's managed underneath Pep. He knows like Pep is probably one of the best managers out there in the world, like even all time. And the thing is, obviously, he's had the best players he can do, and I think that's where Arteta would shine when he's actually got the players he needs. Because realistically, you've got 72 million Pepe, who's not performing at all. And I don't think I've seen him perform much besides maybe one game in the Europa League when he scored 2 free kicks in the same game. His top two just aren't finishing anything. And realistically, his back line are not doing the best for him. He's obviously got Kieran Tierney, who's playing amazing. And he could slot Saka or Maitland-Niles into the back. But he's still just is not there yet. I reckon when he gets his players, then that's when he'll start to perform. But obviously, Arsenal need to loosen the reins in terms of which players he can buy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right, just before we finish, I just want to say that I've just sent a couple of pictures into our committee group chat, and I would just like to point out that Frank Lampard looks like the best woman out of all the Premier League managers. Can't say that anymore.
He does. And Arteta's woman looks like Lampard's actual wife.
So
Oh,
And Roshan, if you look at it looks
I've just seen them. Why? Why have you said that?
looks like Boris is is a woman.
Anyways.
Oh, right.
Why have you done that?
And on that bombshell.
That's so bad. Oh my. But yeah, we'll end it on that disgusting bombshell. That's horrible.
Put them in the main chat and then we can
I'll
all
put it
see.
in the main chat now, yeah.
That's all from episode 6. It's signing off right now from myself, Abby, Josh, and a big thank you to Luke and Harry for joining us today. Hopefully we will see you again soon once this whole cycle of getting people on the podcast is over.
Thank you very
Thanks for having me.
Very much.